Jack Harlow kept his head down as he pushed the cleaning cart through the gleaming hallway of the Galactic Council station. His gray maintenance uniform blended with the dull metal walls. No one looked twice at him. No one ever did. That was the point. The council chamber doors loomed ahead. 2 Zentari guards stood at attention, their scaled skin reflecting the blue light from above. Jack nodded respectfully as he approached. "Maintenance," he said, showing his forged ID badge. "Scheduled cleaning." The taller guard barely glanced at it. "Be quick. Session begins in 30 minutes. Jack pushed his cart inside, heart pounding against his ribs. The circular chamber was empty now, but soon the 12 seats of the Galactic Council would be filled with the most powerful beings in known space. 12 seats, plus one that always remained empty. Earth's seat. He moved efficiently, pretending to clean while placing tiny recording devices under the massive table. His real mission was almost complete. 3 years of deep cover work for this moment. The doors opened unexpectedly. Jack turned, keeping his face neutral as 5 council members entered early. He recognized them all. The insectoid Vril ambassador, 2 blue-skinned Arcturians, the gaseous mist elder contained in its floating sphere, and the Zentari High Commander. Jack kept cleaning, moving slowly toward the exit. "The Earth annexation vote must proceed today," the Zentari commander said. "Our survey teams confirm the planet remains abandoned. 300 years since the collapse of human civilization, yet the resources are still viable." The Mist Elder's translation device hummed. "I find it strange. A species advanced enough for spaceflight gone so completely. Their nuclear exchange was thorough." The Vril clicked. "What survivors existed died in the long winter that followed. The evidence is clear." Jack's fingers tightened around his cleaning rag. If they only knew. Humanity hadn't died. They'd gone underground, hidden in vast subterranean cities, watching, waiting, growing stronger. "The empty chair has stood long enough," the Zentari said, gesturing to Earth's vacant council seat. "Time to put the planet to proper use." Jack finished his work and pushed his cart toward the exit. The recording devices would capture the entire session. Operation Ghostlight was nearly complete. "You there, maintenance worker." Jack froze. The Zentari commander was looking directly at him. "Yes, High Commander?" Jack kept his voice flat, subservient. "You missed a spot." The alien pointed to the floor near Earth's empty chair. "My apologies." Jack moved to clean it, passing directly behind the council members. He could see the session agenda on their data tablets. The vote was scheduled for today. The annexation fleet would launch within the week. Humanity had less time than they thought. He finished cleaning and pushed his cart out, nodding to the guards. His extraction point was 3 levels down, in the maintenance bay. A supply ship would dock in 20 minutes. He would be on it. Jack entered the empty elevator and pressed the button for the lower level. As the doors began to close, a clawed hand thrust between them. The doors reopened. Chief Security Officer Vexlar stepped in, his 4 yellow eyes studying Jack intently. The Draconid's forked tongue flicked out, tasting the air. "Strange," Vexlar said, moving closer. "You smell familiar." Jack's hand moved slowly toward the hidden blade in his sleeve. "Just cleaning solutions, sir." Vexlar's head tilted. "No. Something else. Something I haven't smelled in centuries." His eyes narrowed. "Something human." Jack moved faster than Vexlar expected. His cleaning cart crashed into the Draconid's legs as Jack slammed the emergency stop button. The elevator jerked to a halt. "Human?" Jack forced a laugh. "The council really needs to update your species recognition training," Vexlar hissed, reaching for his weapon. Jack was quicker. The hidden blade slipped from his sleeve into his palm. He didn't want to kill, but he had no choice. The blade found a gap in the alien's armor, sliding between scales. Vexlar gasped, yellow eyes widening in shock. "Impossible," the security chief whispered as he slumped to the floor. Jack restarted the elevator, heart hammering. He dragged Vexlar's body behind the cart. At the maintenance level, he moved quickly through the shadows toward the loading dock. The supply ship was already there. Jack slipped aboard just as the cargo doors were closing, 48 hours later, Jack emerged from a hidden entrance beneath the ruins of Old Denver. The massive underground city of New Terra spread before him, its artificial sunlight illuminating buildings that housed 50,000 humans. One of 7 such cities on Earth. "Commander Harlow," a young soldier greeted him. "Admiral Reeves is waiting." Jack followed him through crowded streets. People moved with purpose here. Everyone had a job. Everyone had a role in humanity's survival. Children played in small parks designed to mimic the surface world they had never seen. The command center was buried deepest, protected by layers of rock and security systems. Admiral Frank Reeves stood before a massive display showing the solar system. He turned when Jack entered, his weathered face grim. "Tell me you have good news, Jack." Jack placed a data chip on the table. "The council votes today. The annexation fleet launches within the week." Reeves swore. "Sooner than we expected. Did you place all the recorders?" "Yes, but there's a problem. I had to eliminate their security chief. He recognized me as human." The room went silent. The other officers stared. "How?" Reeves asked. "He said he smelled it, said it was familiar." Jack shook his head. "That's impossible. No living alien has encountered a human in 3 centuries. Reeves activated the data chip. The council meeting played on the main screen. They watched in silence as the vote proceeded. Unanimous approval for Earth's annexation. "They think we're extinct," Reeves said. "Time to show them how wrong they are. Activate the fleet." On the screen, a new display appeared. Throughout the asteroid belt, hidden shipyards powered up. Hundreds of vessels built in secret over generations. Humanity's answer to the stars that had forgotten them. "Commander Harlow." A voice from the doorway made Jack turn. His brother Steve stood there, now wearing the uniform of a fleet captain. They hadn't spoken in 5 years, not since their fight over the descent protocols. "They gave you a ship?" Jack asked. Steve's face remained hard. "The Lazarus, flagship of the First Response Fleet. Appropriate name. I need a tactical officer." Steve's words came reluctantly. "Someone who's seen the enemy up close." Before Jack could answer, alarms blared throughout the command center. A lieutenant rushed to the sensor station. "Sir, long-range sensors are picking up multiple warp signatures entering the solar system." The young officer looked up, face pale. "It's the council fleet. They're already here." 3 weeks early, Admiral Reeves slammed his fist on the table. "We've lost the element of surprise." The command center erupted into action. Officers rushed to stations. Screens lit up with incoming data. Jack watched the alien fleet's approach on the main display. 37 ships moving in perfect formation toward Earth. "Diplomacy is no longer an option," Reeves said. "Captain Harlow, get to your ship. Intercept that fleet before they detect our underground cities." Steve nodded sharply. "Come on, Jack. Time to see if you remember how to fight." The brothers raced through the tunnels to the transport hub. A high-speed shuttle waited to take them to the hidden lunar base where the Lazarus was docked. Neither spoke during the journey. The weight of 3 centuries of human survival pressed down on them. The Lazarus was massive. A warship built in secret, designed with technology the council races couldn't imagine. Its black hull absorbed light rather than reflected it. The shadow drive engines hummed silently, ready to bend reality itself. "Welcome aboard," Steve said as they entered the bridge. The crew stood at attention. 50 men and women trained for this moment their entire lives. Jack took his place at the tactical station. His fingers moved across the controls, familiarizing himself with the weapon systems, more advanced than anything he'd trained on. "All ships report ready, Captain," the communications officer said. Steve sat in the command chair. "Deploy the fleet. Shadow drive engaged." The Lazarus shuddered slightly as the drive activated. Outside the viewports, space itself seemed to bend. Then they were moving, faster than light, but through a different dimension than the aliens used. Undetectable. 20 human ships emerged from hiding, following the Lazarus toward the incoming council fleet. "They have no idea we're here," Jack said, watching the sensor readings. "Their shields are minimal, they're not expecting resistance." Steve's face was hard in the blue light of the bridge. Target the lead vessels. Disable engines first. I want prisoners. Firing solutions ready, Jack confirmed. All ships weapons free. Show them humanity still has teeth. The human fleet struck like lightning from nowhere. The shadow drives allowed them to appear directly among the alien formation. The Lazarus fired first, energy weapons slicing through the lead council ship's engines. Chaos erupted across the battlefield. Council ships scrambled to raise shields and return fire, but they were too slow. Human vessels danced between them, weapons blazing with deadly precision. Their flagship is trying to retreat, Jack called out, sending targeting data to all ships. On the main view screen, the council vessels burned. Some drifted powerless. Others exploded in silent bursts of light and debris. Captain, the sensor officer shouted, I'm detecting terraforming equipment on those ships. Atmospheric processors, biological agents. Jack looked up from his console. They weren't coming to settle Earth. They were coming to remake it. Those agents would have killed everyone in our underground cities. Steve's knuckles turned white on the armrests of his chair. This wasn't annexation. It was extermination. A transmission cut through the battle chatter. On screen, an alien face appeared. Admiral Jorak of the Council Forces, his reptilian features twisted in shock. Impossible, the alien said. The tactics, the formation patterns, these are human battle strategies from the archives. The archives don't tell you everything, Steve replied. The alien's eyes narrowed. You've been hiding all this time, building, waiting. Earth was never abandoned, Steve said. And now you know. Jack's console beeped urgently. Steve, a council courier ship just jumped to warp. They're escaping. Let them go, Steve ordered. Let them tell the council that humanity has returned. Jack studied the sensor readings from the destroyed council ships. Something wasn't right. He pulled up the ship manifests, the crew records. His blood went cold. Steve, he said quietly. This wasn't random. The council records show this mission was specifically requested by someone who claimed Earth still harbored life. He looked up at his brother. Someone told them we were here. The war room beneath Denver buzzed with tension. Military leaders argued around the circular table. The battle had been won, but the war was just beginning. We should reveal ourselves to the entire galaxy, General Martinez said. Show our strength. Admiral Reeves shook his head. The council will send their main battle fleet next. We need to strike first. Jack stood silently, studying the data he'd recovered from the council ships. A name kept appearing in the classified communications. A human name. I know who betrayed us, Jack said. The room fell silent. Dr. Alan Pierce. Jack displayed the file on the main screen. He disappeared from New Terra 15 years ago. We thought he died in a surface expedition. Steve leaned forward. Pierce? The physicist who worked on the shadow drive? The same. He didn't die. He escaped. Somehow made contact with the council. Jack pointed to the communications logs. He's been feeding them information about our underground cities for years. Admiral Reeves's face darkened. Where is he now? Based on these transmissions, he's at the Council Archive Station orbiting Proxima Centauri III. Jack looked around the room. I need a small team. We can use the shadow drive to infiltrate the station and capture Pierce before the Council mobilizes their main fleet. 48 hours later, Jack led a team of 4 Special Forces soldiers through the dimly lit corridors of the archive station. Their black armor absorbed the light. Their movements were silent. The shadow drive had allowed their small ship to appear inside the station's docking bay undetected. Life signs ahead, whispered Sergeant Kelly, checking her scanner. 1 human, 2 Zentari. They moved quickly, stunning the alien guards before they could raise an alarm. The door slid open to reveal a laboratory filled with advanced equipment. A gray-haired man in council robes stood with his back to them. Hello, Jack, Dr. Pierce said without turning. I've been expecting someone. Jack kept his weapon raised. Why, Pierce? Why betray your own species? Pierce finally turned. His face was lined with age, but his eyes burned with conviction. Betray. I'm trying to save the galaxy from humanity. By having us exterminated? Jack moved closer. You don't understand what we are. Pierce gestured to his research. I've studied our history, our psychology. Humans are dangerous, Jack. More dangerous than any species in the Council. Given the chance, we would dominate the galaxy through force. That's not your decision to make. Pierce laughed bitterly. Look at what you've done already. Your first contact with alien life in 3 centuries and you destroyed their ships. Killed thousands. They were coming to kill us, Jack said. Because I warned them what would happen if they didn't. Pierce's voice rose. I gave them a choice. Contain humanity now or face a war that will consume the galaxy later. Alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. Red lights flashed in the corridor. Too late, Pierce smiled. The Council knows you're here. Their main battle fleet has already launched for Earth. Jack grabbed Pierce by his robes. How many ships? 200. 10 times what you faced before. Pride gleamed in Pierce's eyes. Your hidden fleet can't possibly stand against them. Jack's communicator crackled. Commander, we need to go now. Station security is closing in. They dragged Pierce back to their ship, fighting through security forces. As they jumped to shadow space, Jack contacted Earth. Steve, the Council fleet is coming. 200 ships. Pierce confirmed it. Steve's voice was grim. We've detected them. They'll reach Earth in 18 hours. I'm leading our fleet to intercept, but we're outnumbered. Jack looked at Pierce, who sat calmly despite being restrained. There's something else. Pierce knows more than he's saying. What do you mean? Ask him about the original catastrophe, Pierce called out, hearing Steve's voice. Ask him why the Council was so eager to believe Earth was dead. Jack felt cold dread building in his stomach. What are you talking about? Pierce leaned forward, chains rattling. The nuclear war that drove humanity underground. It wasn't our doing. His eyes gleamed with dark knowledge. It was them, Jack. The founding races of the Council. They tried to exterminate us 3 centuries ago. Jack stared at the recording in his hand. Pierce's confession, extracted during the journey back to Earth. The truth about humanity's near extinction. The Council's first attempt to wipe them out. Broadcast it, he told the communications officer. To every system in the galaxy, let everyone know what the Council did. The massive space battle raged at the edge of the solar system. Human ships darted between the larger Council vessels using their shadow drives to appear and disappear. But they were outnumbered. Shields were failing. Ships were being lost. Jack watched from the bridge of the Lazarus as Steve executed a brilliant maneuver, splitting the Council fleet into 2 vulnerable groups. Now's our chance, Jack said. I need a strike team to board the Council flagship while they're disorganized. Steve gripped his brother's shoulder. It's suicide, Jack. It's our only shot. Jack checked his weapon. Keep them busy out here. The boarding shuttle launched from the Lazarus, 5 soldiers and Jack using the shadow drive to slip past the Council's defenses. They docked with the massive flagship, cutting through the hull. Alarms blared as they fought their way through the corridors. 2 of Jack's team fell to alien weapons fire. The remaining 3 pushed forward toward the command center. The broadcast is working, one soldier said, checking her comm device. 3 Council races have broken ranks. They're refusing to fight against us. Jack nodded grimly. The truth is our best weapon. They reached the command center doors. The last of Jack's team placed explosives, while Jack prepared himself for what came next. The doors blew inward. Jack charged through the smoke. The Council Arbiter stood at the center of the room. Ancient, withered, one of the founding members of the Galactic Council. His guards raised weapons, but he waved them down. So the vermin survived after all, the Arbiter said, his translator making his voice sound hollow. Jack kept his weapon aimed at the alien's head. You tried to wipe us out 300 years ago. Why? Because we saw what you would become. The Arbiter gestured to the battle raging outside the viewport. Humans advance too quickly, adapt too readily. In 1,000 years you would have ruled us all. So you triggered nuclear launches, made us think we did it to ourselves. A simple solution to a dangerous problem. The Arbiter's eyes narrowed. We kept your chair empty in the council chamber as a reminder of our success. A warning to any race that might grow too powerful. Jack's comm unit crackled. Steve's voice came through, strained and urgent. Jack, we can't hold them much longer. Outside, Jack saw the Lazarus take a direct hit, flames erupting from its side. Order your fleet to stand down, Jack demanded. The Arbiter laughed. You have lost, human. Accept extinction with dignity. Jack raised his weapon. The broadcast has already turned 3 of your member races against you. How many more when they learn you tried to commit genocide? The Arbiter hesitated. On the screens around them, council ships were indeed breaking formation, refusing to fire on human vessels. Stand down, the Arbiter finally ordered. All ships, cease fire. The battle slowly halted. Jack watched as the Lazarus drifted, damaged but intact. Steve had survived. 3 days later, Jack walked into the Galactic Council chamber. The room fell silent as he approached Earth's empty chair, the seat that had remained vacant for 3 centuries. The Arbiter watched from his elevated position. Will you claim humanity's place in the Council now, Commander Harlow? Jack stood before the empty chair. He looked at it for a long moment. Then he drew his weapon and destroyed it, the blast reducing the ancient seat to ashes. Humanity doesn't want your chair, Jack said, his voice echoing in the silent chamber. We don't want your permission to exist. Earth's chair remained empty because you thought you killed us. Now it will remain empty by our choice. He turned to face the assembled council races. We won't be your subjects. We won't be your nightmare. We will be your equals. And we will never be silenced again.